I would like to share my experience in building iOS app using building your first Swift app video by developer.apple.com. The goal of the iOS app is to something like this. You have a photo and you tap apply filter and the filter gets applied randomly and the color keeps changing. Very first step for me was, do I have Xcode? Because I knew that I needed an Xcode to code iOS app. So I realized I did have it. So this is my screenshot of saying, oh my goodness, I had Xcode. So then I created a new Xcode project, picked single view app, and I named it photo filters. One thing that was really tricky was learning about bundle ID. And it's just reverse DNS format. So for instance, if you have a google.com, then you just change it to have the com in front of Google. So that's one example I posted here on my Medium. And I picked language Swift as the tutorial asked me to. And here's a little thing about what bundle ID is for people who like to learn deeply about that. The next part is to click next and you save the project. I just saved mine under document folder. And now we're in the beauty settings view. And then now you get to see the left panel. And then left panel has all the files that you saved for this project. Then I just kind of dragged a photo and then posted under photo filters folder. So a lot of dragging and dropping going on. And then I picked a palette that has a lot of colors because we're going to be applying filters, so I wanted to have many colors. Then I went to main storyboard, and storyboard is where you can visually edit and looking at the web interface. So when I click on that, I just see this blue box and there's 3 little dots on top. So that was my storyboard UI, user interface. And the very first objective, I call it user story 1, is to display the photo. So how do we do that? So then I went to image view, and under the image view there's an object library, and you just search for image view. So here's image view I'm searching, and the object library is located in this section, bottom right of storyboard UI. And once I got the image view, and then I just kind of move the cursor, and there's little center line that shows up to make sure that you're in center. And then now we can actually see there's an attribute inspector. So you click on that and go to image drop down, and then you go to image section here, and you click on the drop down, you select the image that you saved under from earlier point, where earlier we got the image and we drag the image inside of the folder, like so. So now we're actually applying that image to the storyboard. So now when you select the image, it shows up on the storyboard UI. So this is the final look. And you can aspect to fill by filling in the screen. So then now you see the photo kind of really on there in full. And then the next goal was showing the app title and having the button showing for apply filter. So what happened, what I had to do was I had to click a view controller icon, which is this blue thing with the yellow, and then select editor from the toolbar, and then embed in, and then navigation controller. So once I got there, then I was able to see this navigation controller on top of my image. So what I had to do is I just kind of select the image from the behind, and I touched this very top part and I dragged it over to the right side. Then I was able to have it away from each other because it was on top. It was very hard for me to see it. And then after that, I added a title, and and you just kind of click on this top bar area, and then you see the blue highlight, and then you just add a filter as a title of your app, and then bottom toolbar, to get to the bottom toolbar, you go to navigation controller and attributes inspector show toolbar. Then you go, as you see here, navigation controller, and then show toolbar. So just have to make sure that this is selected, and then you go here. The next part is creating, so like confirming that you have a bottom toolbar showing. So, and then now we want to add button, and I want to call it apply filter. And adding the button, you have to search the object library again on the bottom right side, and we search for bar button. And then once you find a bar button, you just drag it over to the bottom of the photo, and then you see this little blue outline. When you click on it and you double click on it, you can edit what's inside. So then you rename it to apply filter. Then we want to center this title in the bottom as a button. So what I used is flexible spacebar. That is also under object library. So once I got that button, I again dragged it over to the bottom bar, and then I see this blue line showing up, and then I drag again to the left side of the apply filter button. Then now it's filled in from left and right, and it's now centered. And now I want to open an assistant editor to see how it looks on the simulator on iPhone. So I click on this double circle, and now you'll see that you're switched to assistant editor because the double circle is highlighted. And then you click on a little drop down, and then you'll see preview. And then onto there's a main storyboard preview. And to have some more room, because you're going to have a preview windows coming up on the right, you can collapse the side toolbars by clicking on these blue icons. And then now you can see that we have preview on the right, and it shows that it's iPhone portrait up and down, vertical. Next part, wanted to make the photo responsive. So we'll click on Image View, Resolve Auto Layout, Issues menu, and add missing constraints. And then this one is a default setting for responsive image. And then you click plus on preview, and then you select iPad to see how photo fits into the bigger screen. So then you'll be able to see that the photo is fitting in fine. And the next part is you have to connect user interface to code. So the code associated with this is in view controller. Then you switch to assistant editor from preview to automatic. So when you do that, you start seeing code. And now what you do is you start from the UI section where your photo is, and then there's a code on the right. So you click on the photo of your app, and then you press down on control key, and you drag it, and you start seeing this blue line going towards where the code is. And this connection, what we're doing, is called outlet, or insert outlet, or outlet collection. Outlet is a variable in our code that is linked to an object in the storyboard. So if we are selecting any part, any specific part, it's actually connecting to our code, which is really cool. And then you'll see in the pop-up, there's a name, photo image view, and you just return to create the variable. And then next part is we're creating a space to render. Rendering means processing to build an output image, and the filter image before displaying to UI. So what happens is let context that is going to be where a place a render filter image will live. And then next, we're going to give apply filter button functionality. And then again, same thing. We are going to create, earlier we mentioned that outlet. So we're going to create an outlet that linked to an object. So if you start from the button and you bring it over right above the override function, then you'll start seeing function apply filter. Oh wait, what happens is you have function apply filter, and you rename it to apply filter. So now that link you create here is becoming apply filter. Then apply random hue filter to image when apply filter method is called. So this part is more of a code here. So I noted here is create an image, create a random color, apply a filter to an image, and render the filter image, reflect the change back in the interface. So that's the final code, and I have the code all in my GitHub account, which is listed here. And this is the, and then when you're ready to build and run, you press this play button to run, and then iOS simulator will show up on the right like this. So I want to give thanks to Heather who helped me on debugging. I had some issue with the apply filter not having functionality. So she was really helpful in that. And I worked closely with this video. So this really helped me just start off well on the daunting task of just building my first app on iOS. So thank you, Apple, for creating this video. And if you have any more questions, feel free to leave message on my Medium post or link with me on LinkedIn. Thank you so much.